There are three things in the world that can make anyone, no matter who you are, cry. Puppies, videos of soldiers coming home from war, and the Brachiosaurus' last dying cry. Hey, it's Zadie, welcome to Flytte Kartina. Right now you're in the spoiler rant section, so if you don't want to hear spoilers, get out. But everyone has seen this movie so far as I know, because the UK got it released like a week early and something like that. Stuff happened. You get a slightly delayed movie review because I didn't have any plan for this Thursday. For this video I'm going to be hopping from one subject to another, so I'm sorry if it seems scatterbrained, but that's just how I am. Alright, let's talk about the first act, the second act, and the third act. By the time that they set up the first act, I already knew that the dinosaurs were going to be set free into the world. I mean, it was just so obvious with all of these like animal rights activism stuff going around, and I'm just like, oh, Claire's now dinosaur huggers, I guess that's what you would call it. Alright, the second act was a lot of businessmen doing like their business thing, like, oh, I'm so evil, I'm selling these dinosaurs. Yawn. Yeah, I kind of fell asleep for that part. No, seriously, I actually fell asleep. Third part was pretty awesome. Everything that they promised in the first act, they delivered in the third act. It was really awesome, I won't lie. I got super into it, and that was when I woke up for the movie. It allowed me the room to forgive what happened in the second act and completely forget about it as well, because the second act meant nothing. As I said in my non-spoiler review, I thought of this as a monster movie. The reason for this being is the plot of the film isn't driven by any of the characters, like the human characters, that is. Sure, they all have motives, bad motives, but that doesn't mean that they actually did anything except survive and watch the things wreak havoc on the screen. The soundtrack wasn't that bad. It kind of had the same ring as the original John Williams score, but at the same time it had too much Star Wars in it and it was like booming, and I was like, hi soundtrack, how are you doing today? The plot went a little bit differently than I thought it was gonna go. Backstory, I only watched the first two-ish trailers of a movie that's coming out, and so that I don't get too much of the stuff that I kind of want to experience on the screen and with the audience. I thought that the whole thing was gonna be filmed on the island, like the first Jurassic World, because that's just kind of how they portrayed it to being done. It was really cool that they like went out of their comfort zone and like, hey, let's take dinosaurs and like take them into the world and do our auction in this mansion, which has soundproof floors for some reason. The end scene was pretty epic. You saw all of these different dinosaurs somehow getting across an ocean to a different place. There was this one scene where there's a dinosaur screaming at a lion, and they're both screaming at each other, and they're just like, I am the bigger roar. As I said in the non-spoiler review, the CGI was pretty good in this. I liked it, probably because I saw a Brachiosaurus' whole muscular system as it walked in front of my eyes. That was great. Chris Pratt is in this. Don't know if you noticed, but the guy outrunning an ash cloud from a volcano, I think that was the filmmakers being like, hey, we got this muscular lead, let's use him to our advantage. Let's make him outrun this freak thing of nature, this ash cloud that should totally overtake him by the time that he gets halfway through across the island. Why did they have to clone a human? I get that you're trying to draw people into this trilogy, but this is just grasping at straws. They tried to expand the Jurassic universe by adding this one little child into the mix, but it didn't work. And the clone pressed the big red button. There's a big red button. You know somebody's gotta press the big red button. I thought it was really good that Claire, who was the female lead in this, she had the strength to abstain from pressing the button, because I think that was a really good moment, a really smart moment at the same time. But no, this is Jurassic World, so the button needs to be pushed. One thing you could have done, you could have just opened the main hangar door and like let all of the fumes out that way instead of releasing them from the cages first and be like, how are we gonna get them back in and let the smoke all out at the same time? And it's just like, why? What could you have done differently? I'm gonna talk a little bit about the side characters, and only a little bit because I didn't like them very much. The girl was a Big Hero 6 Go-Go knockoff, and the kid Franklin, I frankly didn't like him that much. I think they only hired him because he had a funny scream. The only relatable part about Franklin was that one bug spray scene where he was like rubbing it all on, and I'm just like, yeah, relatable. Good job, dude, for being the voice of reason. The side characters were just filler characters. Speaking of fillers, this movie was an obvious setup towards a third movie. It doesn't stand alone on its own. I enjoyed this film by itself. It was entertaining and scary, and I got a thrill and a rush out of it, but still, it was just a filler movie. It's like one of those anime episodes where it's just like, hey, do you want to hear the backstory about this side character? No, but we're gonna get it anyway. This kind of reminded me of what the Star Wars franchise is doing right now with some of their films. They're bringing back all the stuff that we remember, and I'm like, hey, remember all this nostalgia? It's great, and it doesn't do anything else. It just kind of brings a little bit of background and sheds a little light on some characters, and like, hey, there's also a future in this universe. That's all the substance it has. Jurassic World, the first movie, worked because it knew what it was. It knew that it was a dinosaur movie and it was following the Jurassic Park trilogy. They knew what they were and they stuck with what they were good at and they had a little fun along the way. That wasn't what this one was. This one was like oh, we're a super serious dinosaur film that's gonna like honor the first trilogy. No. Jurassic World: The Fallen Kingdom was like the sweaty try-hard cousin of Jurassic World. All in all, this was a very entertaining film. I didn't expect a lot out of it, so that's probably why I enjoyed it so much. Question of the week is, would you have pressed the big red button? Are you gonna be like Claire, who's smart and didn't press the button? Or are you gonna be like the clone who's like, no, they're alive like me. Like, no, they're animals. You're a human. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great random Thursday. I'm sorry this is a late video. See you on the other side of the screen. Bye!